To buy a vacation home, Neil and Lily took out a 30-year mortgage for $130,000 at an annual interest rate of 12%. After 20 years, they refinanced the unpaid balance of $92,705 at an annual rate of 10%. Use the table to find the monthly payments on the original loan. They're going to ask us some other questions, but I'm going to stop right there. Don't get too much information overload. They want us to find the monthly payments on the original loan. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now remember, there's always this chart involved, the way they give it to us, and they're giving us the monthly payment on a $1,000 loan. This is a 12% loan over 30 years. So the number you're interested in is $10.29. So there's a $10.29 payment on a $1,000 loan, but you're actually borrowing $130,000, which is 130 times as much. So the payment on a $130,000 loan would be 130 times $10.29. Now let's do that. So if we take 10.29 and times it by 30, we get, not by 30, by 130. If we take 1029 and times it by 130, we get $1,337.70. $1,337.70. So that would be the monthly payment that they asked for. They said to find the monthly payment on the original loan. Monthly payment on the original loan. Okay, that's the first thing they asked us to do. What next? Next they said find the monthly payments on the new loan. Okay, what's the new loan? Well, the original loan ran for 20 years, and when they finished it out, they still owed $92,705. So the new loan amount was $92,705. So let's go ahead and adjust for that. So the new loan amount was $92,705, but they got a better rate at 10%. There's a 30-year loan. They've already gone through 20 years of it, so there's only 10 years remaining that they need to refinance for. So this is what we need to be doing now. So looking back at the chart, we're interested in a 10% rate now, and it's only a 10-year loan, so we're looking at the 10-year column. So the number that we're interested in is the number at the intersection of those two things, which would be 1322. So there's a $13.22 payment on a $1,000 loan. So how much would you owe on a $92,705 loan? Well, it's been kind of easy in the past because the numbers are always multiples of 1,000. Well, there's not an even number of 1,000s in $92,705. So you really have to think about what you did before. For a $130,000 loan, you got 130 by dividing. I guess I can show it again. When you figured out that on a $1,000 loan you had to multiply by 130, it's really because you were dividing by 1,000. 1,000 goes into 130 times. That was so easy, you didn't really have to think about it that way. But technically, that's what you're doing. You're going to have to take that number and divide it by 1,000. How many thousands are there in that? So what you're going to do is take the $13.22 payment and multiply it by whatever however many times 1,000 goes into that number. So I'll just write it out as an explicit division. It's how many times 1,000 goes into that number. And that's the same as before. 130,000 divided by 1,000 is 130. But you sort of have to do it explicitly when the balance is not a multiple of 1,000. So that would be the payment on $92,705 loan. So we can take the calculator and do that. It's no big deal. I'll start with the fraction first. I take $92,705 and divide it by 1,000. So that's your multiplier, a little over 92. And multiply it by 1322. So I times 13.22 equals. So that would be $1,225.56. In other words, that'd be a $1,225.56 payment. On that $92,705 loan. And that's the answer to the second question. The third question said, what's the total amount saved? Well, how do you figure that out? Well, there's probably several ways of looking at it, but maybe the easiest way, since you've got these two numbers right in front of you, is just see how much you saved every month. So if you do it that way, the savings is just the difference between this number and this number. So your monthly savings would just be the difference between what you would have been paying every month had you not refinanced and what you got in your reduction by refinancing. And if you do that subtraction, I'll just go ahead and tell you without putting the calculator up there, that that's $112.14. Now that's every month. But you saved it for 10 years. You took out the original loan for 20 years. That last loan ran for 10 years. So every month for 10 years, you saved that amount. So you saved $112.14 times 12 each year. So if you times that by 12, and it's such an easy calculation, I'll just do it off to the side, times 12, you end up saving $1,345.68 each year. Saved. That's your savings each year. But that was over a course of 10 years. So that would be $1,345.68 each year times the 10 years that you were doing this. And if you times that by 10, that comes out to be 1,345,680. So in the total scheme of things, over that 10 years that you refinanced, you would have saved over $13,000, in particular $13,456.80.